Good evening, guys, and happy Tuesday to all of your sunshiny faces. So guys, I was able to get everything done on my planner for today, which yesterday I didn't because I didn't do my grocery list yesterday. Normally I try and work on Meijer and Walgreens on Monday because their ads come out on Sunday, so I can start working on them on Monday. And so I didn't end up doing that, but today I finished mostly, I think all of that. I know I finished Meijer for sure. I looked over Walgreens actually yesterday, and then I also finished pretty much Valley Produce and Caputo's as well. And like a little bit of Jewels, but I should hopefully be able to just sort of finish that up tomorrow. But I did that while I was actually editing today, and I was watching the MLB All-Star game, and so I was just multitasking and getting all of that done all at the same time. So like I said, I think that's done, but that was, like I said, one thing that I didn't do yesterday, and then today I did wind up getting to that. Plus I cleaned the bathroom, which I did everything but the floor, and I did it sort of in reverse order. So it actually, like, I cleaned the bathtub shower sort of first. Normally I always do that last, but I did that first because lately, like, if I wind up waiting too late, almost into the afternoon, then like when people start getting home from like work, and like when Jack would come home from school, or like, you know, again, he comes home from football sort of earlier in the day, so I don't have to super worry about that. But it's like my dad and Matthew tend to get home at the same time, and then sometimes too they will also come home, like they'll go to the gym and they'll come home then from the gym and they're all sweaty and dirty and also want to take a shower. There's just a lot of extra people in the house too, and like they have to use the bathroom and we only have one. So it's not like I can be like, you know, like when there's less people here, it's just easier and faster to be able to finish it. So I did that, like I said, earlier today. I actually felt like it sort of worked out a little better. I did the shower first and then cleaned the rest of the bathroom a little bit after that. But I just forgot to do the floors because normally like I do it in order, and so then when I forgot about, like I said, like vacuuming and mopping the floors. So I have to finish that tomorrow. But other than that, I pretty much got everything else as far as cleaning the bathroom done and everything. And then I also edited, I just finished editing yesterday's vlog, and I uploaded the vlog from, I think it was 2 days ago, but I had yesterday's vlog and the day before's vlog not edited, so I did that today. So I'll have 2 to upload tomorrow, and I'll be all caught up, which is super awesome. So tomorrow I should be editing this vlog. But yes, so that was what I pretty much got to today. I did dishes and laundry today too, and mostly, for the most part, got to pretty much everything again on my planner. Like again, yesterday I couldn't check everything off, but today I was able to. Like, plus, like I said, I did my grocery list as well. The only problem is that I didn't have one of the videos, I still have to finish saving it. I forgot to save the one that I was working before it, so that's all I have to do. But I'll probably just wait till I get out of the shower to actually just click the button to tell it to, you know, move on to the next one, because it'll take too long and I'm not gonna wait. I'd rather just go take a shower now. So anyways, guys, yeah, that was pretty much what I got to today. But something kind of cool that my mom actually got for Christmas from Matthew, and she was just reading through it, and I have had only a couple of minutes to briefly like look over it just a little bit. Actually, this book is called Back to Basics, and I think this is the 4th edition. But I was looking at it, like I said, in not a huge ton of detail, but from what I saw was that it's sort of like it says it's the classic guide to self-sufficiency. But I actually, again, I was looking over some of this stuff. Like, my mom came in here and she was like, oh, there's like a whole gardening section in there, and she's like, I think that because I didn't know this, our arugula bolted and is flowering currently. But the weird thing is that the seeds apparently are not in the flower. It's actually on little pods. And my mom was like looking through there, and she's like, oh my gosh, this looks like okra. And I was like, that's definitely not okra. So I had to look up the fact that when arugula like flowers and like when it seeds, is that it actually has little pods. Because at first when we were looking at them, they're in like we have all of our beans and peas in the garden bed next to the house, but in the opposite garden beds was where we planted the arugula. And so when we saw that, we were like, that's so weird, like we didn't plant any like pea plants or like beans or anything like that in there, because they have pods that sort of look like that. And so like I said, my mom came in here and was like, I think that's okra, and I was like, I don't think that we grew okra. And so like while she was looking at it, I pulled it up on my phone and was like, nope, like arugula, apparently when it seeds, it actually seeds in pods, which is kind of weird and crazy at the same time. Like I thought arugula was pretty much just the same as like lettuce and like, what's it called? Spinach, and like, you know, where like it just pretty much seeds at the top, like it flowers, and like, which is I think the same as like basil does that too. So like I said, I was thinking like leaf plants, like that's how it does it. I did not know that arugula, like, you know, had like seed pods. It's sort of weird. But like I said, when my mom came in here, she showed me that, so I know that there's a whole section of gardening in here. I didn't really look over that. I saw some of the stuff that they actually have like full recipe sections in here too, which is kind of cool. But there's like so much stuff in here, like how I was telling you guys about building like our cold frame. It has a whole section about how to garden like in the winter, and which like for us is obviously, you know, like we have only a very like a pretty short growing season. We have pretty much from the start of May is when for the most part it's like safe, like there shouldn't be any more frost. Sometimes, like I remember one year we did, I think it was the first year that we had the garden beds maybe outside, it actually did frost, and I think that was the year like 2 years ago maybe, or 3 years ago or something like that. I think we planted like all those turnips, the beets, and I think maybe we did radishes, but when they were out in the garden beds, and we planted them early, like, you know, May, whatever. But I remember that it frosted and we had to put like newspaper down because we didn't want them to ruin, like, you know, all of the plants that were out there, because we got a really, really late frost that year. And so like even still then, you know, we didn't end up, like we still had a late frost. And so like May still sometimes isn't even always safe. But then, like I said, normally it's like May, and then by the time normally like October rolls around, we're sort of like at that point where we can get frost again. So we don't have, like I said, a very long growing season like again people in warmer climates do. But and again sometimes too it's very like we could wind up with an early frost too, like sometimes possibly even in August, and a late one in like May again. So we could have a very short growing season. And again, it's not always that, like, you know, if we protect the plants we can sometimes again get some more use out of them, but you know, and they can keep growing and not really be affected by it. But a lot of times, like I said, it's just sort of that it's up to Mother Nature. And so we, you know, we're looking, I told you guys how I've been like doing some of the stuff, you know, research on that, and it has a whole thing about that in here, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's so cool. And more like not even like how to build like cold frame storage, but just like other like ideas about it, which is pretty cool. So like I said, this book was like really cool, and I was like, honestly, even though Matthew got it for my mom for Christmas, I might be the one stealing it, because it also has like full recipes in here about like, there's a whole section about like livestock and stuff like that, which I was like, yeah, no, that's not gonna be, you know, we're not having any pigs in the backyard or chickens or anything like that, you know, and how to harvest them and all that kind of stuff. But you know, it does have recipes for like, you know, like stuff that you can grow in your garden, and also animals that you can grow on your farm, and you know, stuff like that. But again, we don't have that much space either for that kind of stuff. And we're very urban, you know, like I don't know that so many of the neighbors would love having a rooster waking them up. You can't have those around here. You know, or again, like having another pig, like 3 dogs aren't enough right now. And Charlie, honestly, when I said that, he looked up at me. So anyways, yeah, I thought that was just super, super cool. I literally have hardly got to look over it almost at all, but like it shows soap on the front cover, so I was like, this has to be about like making soap and stuff. It shows, like I said, I don't know what else was in here. Oh, this is a whole section about fruit and nuts. And funny enough, I don't know if I mentioned this, when we went to Meijer, when I was looking for like a couple of other herbs, I was looking for like just to see if they had any, because that's what we're putting in that last garden bed that we still have to put in. And so I was there looking at this stuff at Meijer, and they had raspberry, I think it was raspberry bushes, and I think blueberry bushes, which I know have like thorns sort of on them, but I was like, honestly, we don't really have anywhere that we can grow them, like, and again too, like where I wouldn't want the dogs getting into them. I wouldn't want to, you know, have to deal with really any of that kind of stuff. So I was actually looking it up, and you can grow them in containers and like, and in pots, and I was like, that's so cool. But you know, like, instead of, again, because we have a very, you know, not very big backyard, if we planted that, it'd probably take over our yard very quickly. Because, like, again, they can get pretty big in size, but you know, so I was looking into that, and I was like, that's so cool. We could actually like grow them in pots still. I was sort of interested in that because those are some of my favorite. I think we want to do strawberries for sure next year. I think I was telling you guys about that. But that's cool. There's a whole section of that in here, and pest control, which honestly, knock on wood, guys, too, not had that much problem with any pests so far really this year. Other has been digging in our garden beds. It has not damaged any of the plants, but it is still there. And honestly, it doesn't look huge, but like, I was like, oh, it's a skunk, and it very well may still be, but I don't really know. I think I was telling you guys, we know we have voles, but not moles with an M, but a vole with a V. We have those. We've seen them plenty of times, but I really don't think that they're like digging in the vegetable garden. But I don't know, I just like the size of the holes and stuff like that, like, it just doesn't seem like that's really yes, this is the whole section about raising livestock. Oh, natural dyes, that's pretty cool. Funny too, my mom said that my grandma at one point when she was little, she read something in a magazine, and she got this bright idea that she was going to use like natural like dye to have my mom color Easter eggs. So this was back again a while ago, but she used like, I don't know, like beets or something like that to like get the like you know, instead of just using like the dye packs of, you know, like egg coloring, you know, kits and stuff like that. My grandma again read this thing about how to do it all naturally, and so not that we have much experience in that, but I thought that was kind of cool. And now finding that there's a whole section about that in here is also kind of cool. This looks like it's different like flowers and stuff like that as to like how you can again color and dye things. Also too about how to make hooked rugs. That's also pretty cool. Fun fact, I did learn how to use a, gosh darn it, I don't remember what it's called. Not like carpeting, but like those little like a hook, and I want to say it's like called a hook and loom, and I keep wanting to say hook and ladder, and that's not also what it is, but it's like that hook and something or other. But there's like kits that you can do, or at least there used to be. I've really not seen them at craft stores recently. Maybe I'm just not looking, and like, you know, haven't been down those aisles where they have them. When I go in there, I'm normally in there for something suspicious. No, specific, and not really looking for anything, like, you know, I'm not just browsing. But I haven't seen those in a long time, and I used to do those a lot when I was little. So yeah. Oh, is this what it is too here? Hooking, that's what it's called. I think that's literally what I did, but I thought that it was like the thing was called something specific. But anywho, yeah, like you could actually make carpets with them. It was kind of cool. They also have a thing about braided rugs. I so totally have wanted to make braided rugs. Honestly, guys, like I said, I am so like going to steal this from my mother and probably wind up keeping it for myself, just because it has so much stuff in here that I am like so like I've always loved doing, or like always wanted to try too. Like, I've been huge into wanting to make soaps. I have a little thing of like soap making kit under my bed right now that I have been dying to want to try, but I haven't done it. And I don't know, like sometimes I just get super lazy too, and I'm like, I should totally do this, and then I don't wind up doing it, and then it just sits for forever. And like I never remember or motivate myself to do it. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's pretty cool though. I'll have to probably look it over a little bit more and update you guys soon, but my mom just dropped it off in my room today and she was like, here, you can look at it now if you want. But oh my goodness, this is, like I said, like so cool. Like rugs, I want to make rugs. Like that sounds like so much fun. But I think I even showed you guys too, like once I first repainted my bedroom, I was all in this like new, like I don't know, like new sort of like fresh me sort of thing, and I tried to do, I don't know what it was, not knitting, but, and not cross stitch, I don't remember what I was trying to do. But I tried doing something, and like I thought that I could be like crafty and creative, and I'm not really. Like I like to think that I am, I think, but I'm not really that creative, or like I don't know, like I get frustrated, especially when things don't look right, and like it takes me like too much practice to finally like start to learn how to do things properly, like again if it has to do with like knitting or you know whatever. And so like I just like I want it to look right the first time I do it, and you know like if I put enough effort into it, but then sometimes still like you know you're just not as experienced, so you don't. And so like I said, I get really frustrated and then normally wind up giving up like on things. So anyways though, I bet there's a whole section of like sewing in here too. That would be pretty cool. I did learn how to sew in home ec class. I made a pair of pants that were actually, I think I got like an A on them. Like they weren't too bad. I think I still have them also. And they were pretty even for the most part too. Like it wasn't like one leg was like super longer than the other one, but yeah, I remember doing that and like learning how to use it. And then my grandma had a sewing machine and she could sew, but her sewing machine was like broken, I think, because whenever me or my mom, which again I took home ec class, tried to use it, something would always wind up happening. Like something with a bobbin would wind up going wrong, or like something would just like always wind up happening with it. Like we get the needle jammed all the time. Like I think the needle might have been crooked or something, like, and so me and my mom always had problems, but my grandma, I think just because she used it, knew like how to use it and never had a problem with it. But I think that it really like was just like either like a cheap sewing machine, or like she just had it so long it was like old and broken, or like she just overused it, and again like and didn't maybe replace the things properly, the pieces that maybe were actually broken. And so yeah, it was like just, I don't remember what ended up happening to it, but me and my mom were like, if we ever decide to get into sewing, we're just gonna actually buy a new one and like start doing, you know, sewing ourselves from like with a new sewing machine, and maybe we'll have better luck. Maybe it was just like my grandma's sewing machine was a problem, because my mom can sew by hand, but she can't sew on a sewing machine, because whenever she tried to use my grandma's, it was like she always called the Bermuda Triangle. Like everything would just like start like flying out of it, and like stuff would go everywhere. My grandma would like try and fix it and like show her how to do it right, and then my mom would be like, okay, and then she'd start doing it, and then stuff would just start happening, and like even my grandma couldn't figure out like what she was doing wrong, and she's just like, I can do it totally fine, and like then she wouldn't, and work, and like we never could figure it out. So I don't know. And like again too, I never had any problems using like the school sewing machines, which weren't like, you know, some crazy, you know, $1 million sewing machines, but I never had a problem. But with my grandma's, I always had problems too. So I genuinely think it was actually her just sewing machine that was the problem, and not really me or my mom. But yeah, I'd have to look in here and find out if there's something about that, because that'd be pretty cool. But anyways guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog. If you guys did enjoy today's vlog, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.